Do you believe that all bright white type coins, like seeded coins, old barber coins that are, AU or uncirculated, and Morgan dollars that are uncirculated, if they're not toned, that they've been dipped or cleaned? In other words, all the bright white examples out there, most of them have been dipped and cleaned. Do you believe that? If that's your way of thinking, then you're probably going to be surprised at the real answer and what I have to say in this video about toning and bright white coins. I know I've heard a lot of people say 80% of coins have been cleaned, dipped, messed with, and that might be true. Who knows? What's 80%? Because 20% is a large number as well. So let's talk about that. I want to show you a few examples. I also want to talk about a few things I don't think people think about when they make that comment that all bright white coins have been dipped or cleaned in the past. That they couldn't possibly have not toned up because they're silver, obviously, and they have copper in them.
There's other factors at play here as well when you're talking about coins that look dipped or they don't look dipped because they're bright white. Depending on the mint, depending on the dye finish, depending on the dye state and stage, some coins can have a frosty appearance. Some early stage coins can have a dimple or proof-like appearance, or even coins that were refinished after they were clashed to remove clash marks. They can also have a different appearance. So the appearance of a coin, the way it looks, whether it's white or not. So there's some coins that would look dipped to some people that come right from the mint from a late dye stage. And I've seen it plenty of times. That's one thing you have to consider as well.
So over here on my website, I have a listings of all the red fields that I've sold on my site and also all the GSA. Now, the reason is that GSA coins were the last that was left stored by the US Mint in the banks, vaults, and whatever. And the government decided to release it, Nixon under GSA, and they put them in these holders. What do you notice about this coin? It's bright white. There's a little slight patina to it. Most coins that leave the mint eventually are handled in some way, bang against each other, hit oxygen. There might be a slight patina to it. The reason it doesn't look bright white like some of the coins I show in the videos is because my lighting in videos is very bright. It reflects off the coin. It makes the coin look brighter than what it really is. This is through plastic as well. So it has like a lens filter, the plastic. But it is a bright white coin, guaranteed. And here's another image of it, a little different lighting. So this is an example. This is just one example of many of coins that were in storage, were never dipped, never played with. They were sealed up by the government and then shipped out. This coin's never been touched by a dealer's hands, at least in modern times, unless someone, put them in the bank back in the 50s or 40s or whatever. But they've never been manipulated in any way, shape, or form or dipped. But yet they are bright white. They are not toned up. Here's some more examples of that. Sometimes my lighting makes them look a little yellow, a little off, but they are bright white coins. They were beautiful coins. Here's another example. And we can look at example after example. And people can say, coins will naturally tone over time. And that's not true. Coins don't always tone. And not all coins tone the same. Coins tone unnaturally because when they leave the mint, they're not meant to be toned. And I say this by there has to be a catalyst for the toning. And that catalyst is usually not natural. Whether they were stored in TNT boxes with saltpeter and gunpowder, which obviously has a lot of sulfur. Here's an example of toning. This toning probably happened from the holder. Like I said, not all coins tone the same in the holders. Some coins don't tone in holders and some coins do. That's why there's differences in tonings. There's album toning. There's toning where coins against some type of chemical in the plastic. We see that with PCI holders, old PCI holders. You'll see this with Redfield holders, and it runs the gamut. It takes a catalyst to tone a coin. And you can argue whether it's natural or it's not natural, but a coin was not intended to be toned in the first place. So to me, it can be considered unnatural, but yet there is toning that's pleasing and toning that's not. And there's toning that's been accelerated by the human hands that looks, unnatural. It's not even, it didn't happen gradually, or it didn't happen under a certain process. There are certain chemical reactions that happen to a coin that happened in the US Mint vaults that is considered natural, created a neon toning, which everybody loves, which I love. But most coins did not tone like that because they weren't under those type of conditions. Dank conditions, people putting coins under the sun, putting them in certain holders, putting them against certain chemicals they don't even realize, tobacco, alcohol, anything you can think of. Anytime you can open up that original layer a bit to allow a chemical reaction to happen. When a coin is struck, and we're looking at another one here, when a coin is struck, there are layers to that striking, dense layers. That top layer on a coin is very dense and compacted. And then as the force weakens as it goes into the center of the coin, it's not as dense in the center of the coin. But these layers, we're talking about microns here, or atoms, or molecules. And I'm not saying I know how thick everything is. I don't know the exact science behind the layers of a coin, but there is that one top layer that once you remove it, it's over with. The coin's done. But you can take some of the molecules off that coin to kind of expose a little bit of the underlying silver that was not as dense, and it can actually cause certain molecules of the alloy to be exposed to oxygen again and tone differently. Now, I don't think there's been enough people exploring this, and scientifically wise, which maybe in the future someone will. But to really study a coin, basically cut it in half and look at measure the layers and the densities, because I think that's the only way you're going to figure out what is really natural and what's not natural. To me, I think this is natural album type toning because of the plastic. But this coin put in this holder was probably not like this. I know a lot of people argue and say, well, the coin was toned, they stuck it in the holder. That's not the case. When you look at all these hoards, there's a lot of bright white coins in these hoards. There's thousands of bright white coins out there, maybe more than thousands. I buy collections all the time of coins in boxes, and it's unbelievable that there'll be bright white coins, but that because they were in a holder, maybe a roll, or they were in a 2x2 that wasn't breached. But then you get a 2x2 that has a little hole in it, you'll see a little bit of toning on top of that coin. And because it was exposed to either moisture, humidity, or something. And this is another example of a bright white coin that is starting to tone peripherally. I am here to tell you that based off of my experience, based off of all that I've seen, is that really toning is not natural to a coin. Now, it's natural for a metal to tone. I mean, that's chemical reactions in nature. But it is possible to have coins, and I've had coins for decades that are bright white, have never changed because they were stored properly. And if that's the case, then how can one say every bright white coin, every coin that looks dipped is dipped or has been dipped when it's not true? It's just not a fact. I've seen too many coins come in this coin shop and they've never been touched by human hands since the 60s. If someone got out of the bank and picked out the best ones, stuck them in a roll, and then they pass away and they leave them to their kids. I see it all the time. So I do know better. And I know that a lot of people look at the coins that I, dip. Sometimes they look a little brighter because you are getting away from a little bit of the patina that a coin will obtain. Almost every coin will get a little bit. Even bright white coins have a tad of patina to them as they hit oxygen as soon as they're struck and they're in those bins. But I mean, that's the thing though. Every coin is been against other coins. And when coins smack coins, metal gets displaced. Metal gets rubbed on coins. You can rub two coins together and actually rub silver from each coin or even gold from another coin. I've had gold coins come in that had silver on them and I thought might be fake and realized it was just from them being in a roll with some silver dollars. And that's fact. It can happen. That's why you got roll rash. That's what it's called. And these coins, the reason why they got marks all over their faces. That's the reason, because they hit against each other and other coins. And that's one of the things that people have to realize when they're looking at coins. They've been subjected to a lot of handling, a lot of mishandling, and stored in areas that were dank, areas that had humidity, had maybe some type of chemicals, canvas bags and boxes and rolls and cabinets and basements and things like that at the mint even. That affects a coin's patina, but it doesn't mean all coins shouldn't be bright white and that all coins that are bright white are dipped or cleaned at one time. And that's basically the argument. I can prove that over and over. It's a misnomer to say that. So when I restore coins, I'm restoring them to what they actually look like as soon as they were struck at the mint. The actual intended appearance of that coin, that's what they would have looked like. That's why when you see coins today that are extremely bright white, because they came from the mint like that. Look at our 2021 and 2023 Morgan dollars. They are bright white. They don't look exact. They kind of look fakish in a way. I guess some people have said that in the comments. They do have a different finish than their normal Morgan dollars and the peace dollars, but still yet those coins haven't had a chance to be mishandled like the Morgan dollars and the peace dollars and the silver dollars and the seeded dollars and the seeded dimes and all that type coinage that we've had for over the years. Because a lot of them were just intended for circulation, and when they didn't circulate, they were just stored inappropriately. It is logical fallacy and derived from cognitive biases that this coin here, that's bright white, was dipped or cleaned at one time in the past, because it doesn't look like this coin right here. You know, this coin toned because it was subjected to a chemical reaction, or at least a catalyst that caused a chemical reaction on it. This is not natural for a coin. This is actually rust for a silver. Now, it might look beautiful and it might protect it because it has that layer on it now, but this isn't the natural course of any Morgan or every Morgan dollar. You have no idea what all coins were subjected to, but every one of them was subjected to improper handling. Any silver coin, 90% silver coin from 64 and back, was improperly handled, stored, messed with, circulated, you name it. So it is a fallacy to think that the bright white coins have all been dipped and cleaned because they couldn't possibly remain bright white over 100 years. That's false. It's patently false, because those coins literally could have been stored properly and they remained in their near similar state when they were minted from the U.S. Mint. That's just a fact. That can be proven over and over and over. And this, like this coin right here, this is a toned example. This is the reverse of the coin. Okay, so you mean the reverse has been dipped, but the obverse hasn't? The obverse was against something that caused it to tone unnaturally. You can call it natural because it happened without human hands actually gassing it or subjecting it to heat and chemicals and things like that. You could say that. You could say that that's the natural part. So this is a patina that was derived from the coin just being left alone against something, like leaving the coin in the sun or something like that. But then what about the reverse? The reverse it's not been dipped. This is what I'm trying to say. This is what it can look like, even if it's 100, 150 years. If they're stored properly, protected, coins will stay bright white. It doesn't matter how long it is. They don't have to tone up. That's not a rule. Here's another example, and here's the reverse. I mean, like I said, it was against something. And in reality, all toning's unnatural. It's natural chemical process, but it's not natural to a coin. Okay, a coin would not tone like this if it wasn't subjected to something. It was mishandled. It was against something. It was in a canvas bag. It was in a roll against something with chemicals. Chemicals cause these chemical reactions. Oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, you name it. It all causes chemical reactions, oxidation, rust. That's what happens. Thanks for watching my latest video. So please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.